What's going on, everybody? Sorry about that. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of You Guessed It, Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody had a great week. I had a great week, very productive, and made it here to y'all safe. Tonight we have another amazing, talented guest on our show. We have Miss Chela, Miss Chela Dawn. She is a writer, an author, a minister of sorts, an evangelist of sorts. I mean, she is a regular girl boss, basically. I'm excited to sit down with her and just kind of pick her brain on some of the things that she has going on, but I'm not going to steal her thunder. For those of you who may not be familiar with Miss Chela, I'm going to give her a moment to kind of reintroduce herself and give a little background to some of the things that she has going on. So with that being said, I'm going to give you the floor, Miss Chela. It's on you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Mike, for having me. It is an honor and a privilege to be here tonight. My name is Chela Dawn. I am a prophetic evangelist. Amongst all my many roles, my main role is within the church. God has commissioned me as an evangelist, and I serve under my spiritual mother, Apostle Van Williams, with Restorations Ministries. And we just had our official launch in July. We are an apostolic and prophetic ministry located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And outside of that, I just wrote my first book. It's called 5 Days of Gratitude, Build Your Faith in God by Giving Thanks in All Seasons. I have two businesses. One is called Kizzy Crafts. It is a gift shop and treat specialist. And I have the Daily Box, which is gourmet treats and charcuterie. And outside of that, I just I'm promoting my book, and I am enjoying serving the Lord right now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, first off, I want to thank you again for taking a moment to come on to the platform. I really, really, really appreciate it. I know that you are a very, very busy person. So to take a few moments out with me, I know it's taken away from something else you could be doing. So I'm very appreciative. Let's start from the beginning, man. Like 5 days of gratitude.
Yes.
What's the beginning of that? Where did that start? Where did that vision start?
Well, initially, I didn't know it was a book. God told me it was a book. It was actually like journal work. Sometime last year around September, a lot of people that I was in contact with, friends, family, everybody was going through a tough season. You know, these last few years have been very, very different.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people complaining, a lot of people just had so much going on. And I just took a minute and said, let's stop and you want to do a 5 days of gratitude. I actually started from my group chat. Group chats aren't all bad, aren't all gossip and
Okay.
stuff. I started with my group chat, my close friends, and I asked them, do y'all want to do a spiritual week, like 5 days of gratitude? Everybody has something going on. Let's just take a minute and just show thanks to God for the things that we're overseeing. Stop looking at all the bad and just get in touch with what we do have that's going on good. And so for 5 days, I in my book it is morning, noon, and evening prayers, affirmations, and journal work. So for those 5 days, I literally sat with God each morning, each afternoon, and got the prayers. I wrote the prayers out. I said the prayers. I was very intentional with putting this together for my friends, and I even let them know, like, look, this is this is real. I'm not just throwing this together. I'm really sitting with God and getting this together for us. So they were very serious about participating with me for the week to get their mind right. Everybody just get your mind right. And I kept it in my notes. And earlier this year, I actually had some people reach out to me for prayer. And, the Lord just spoke to me, do 5 days of gratitude with them, let that be a series. And I'm like, okay. So I had it in my notes. So I would go through it again with each person. I'm not just sending them stuff each morning. I'm literally praying for the people that I'm doing this 5 days with. And my spiritual mother, my sister, she texted me out of the blue one day, a journal from Target, and it said gratitude across the front.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, this looks like something we could do, it's something you could do or put together a gratitude journal or something. And I was like, you know what? It's crazy. I'm doing a 5 days of gratitude with my friend right now. She's having a hard time. I just want to do 5 days of gratitude. And Holy Spirit took over that conversation. She instantly just started prophesying to me. And God said, this is a book. 5 days of gratitude is a book. Go forth with what you have. And here we are now.
Wow. That's awesome. I've read your book now, going on twice. I'm almost through the second time.
Thank you.
And gratitude is definitely ringing throughout the book. Um, Understanding like the affirmations, kind of like reintroducing yourself to yourself. Giving, it's not only about giving gratitude up to the Father, but it also seems to be um, a book that helps you rebuild your personal character, like your personal feelings towards yourself. Was that purposeful? Because, like I said, I see the affirmation, some of the affirmations that dealt with self-awareness and self-respect and you know, self-praise, if you will. Was that a purposeful act, or did that just kind of happen along with the creative process?
That was actually intentional. That was intentional because during the challenge week, God was like literally speaking to me to speak over yourself, build yourself up, because a lot of the issues that everyone was going through, they were being hard on themselves, even myself included, being hard on myself for life. Things were happening that were beyond our control, and just everyday life, and people tend to, be hard on themselves. So it's like I'm just gonna include everything. Like I'm gonna affirm over myself and build myself up while I do this, and help everyone else to be positive and speak life over yourself, not just not, of course, give God gratitude, like you said, but to show appreciation for yourself. You're doing good, you're doing the best that you can in each day. So just go forth. So that was very intentional with putting those affirmations and the self-confidence aspects to it.
Who would you say has been your greatest influence throughout this process, throughout the whole creative process?
Hmm. My greatest influence. I honestly can't just pick one person. I have a lot of influential men and women around me. I would say my closest friends and family, everyone is an inspiration to me in some kind of way. I look to my cousins, my aunts, my friends, my sister. Everybody. I take something from everybody, and that is something that has kept me going throughout this whole process. I didn't tell anyone for a while that I was writing a book.
Right.
Nobody really knew that I was writing a book except for I think it's like 4 people. In my acknowledgments, the people that I listed by name specifically were the people that were from the beginning of this journey with me, who knew exactly what I was doing, and had the book in process. So um, everyone's been an influence. I look to, my mom, my sister, my aunts, like I said, just everyone that I love, genuinely love, has had an impact on me in some kind of way. So I really can't even pinpoint it to just one person that's influential to me, because everyone in my tight circle and my family inspires me in some kind of way.
Wow. You made an interesting point when you were just answering just now. And so many people that I've talked to have said this when you made mention that nobody knew, or a very chosen few knew what you were doing. And that has become like a a consistent theme that I've heard. Um, you have people. Let me ask you this. I haven't asked this to anybody in a long time, but in your journey, you might have a group of people. You might have two groups of people, right? You got a group of people, and let me tell you, these are not, neither side are haters. These are not haters. These are people
Yeah.
that actually care for you, right? They actually feel like they have your best interests at heart. So on one side, you got the group that says, "Hey, Chela, I know a few people that have tried to do what you're trying to do, and it didn't really work out. They lost a lot of time and a lot of money, and it just really didn't work out for them. So maybe you might want to rethink this thing." But then on the flip side of that, you got those group of people who will say, "Chela, now you need to be further along than this. Why are you moving so slow? You need to do more podcasts. You need to do your own podcast. You need to blah 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 blah. You need to be up there with this author and this author and this author." But so you got two sides. Neither one of them are haters, right? But they both feel like they have your best interests at heart. So you got one side that says you're not doing enough, but then you got on another side that says you're doing too much. Has that ever been a part of your process? Have you had to deal with that?
Not with this project. Maybe things of the past with business. I've had that. I've definitely had that happen. But with this project specifically, and even with anything that I have going on right now, I hear from God. I
Right.
hear from God. So was very structured in who He allowed me to share this journey with, and who I was allowed to give specific details with. Like you said, some people would try to talk me out of it or try to push me even further than I was supposed to be. So it was very structured with the Lord and who I could mention this book to while it was in the certain process. So until it was basically done, well, it was already done because it was the journal work. It just had to do the revisions to actually make it a book.
Mhm.
So God told me who to say something to and who not. So I didn't have that issue with this project as far as anybody being on one side of the fence or other.
Yeah, that it's very interesting to me how people project their insecurities onto others, particularly when they're doing something that you can't do. You're I'm mad at you because you're doing something that I can't do. Or I'm mad at you that for something that I can do, but I'm not doing. But I'm looking at you, mad at you because you're actually doing what I could actually be doing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Plus, it's very funny. It's very interesting. You also brought up a good point about hearing from God through the whole process. Can you tell me what that's been like? Has that been a challenge to to kind of go along with what we've been talking about so far? Has that been a challenge hearing from God? You said that you only spoke to a chosen few about what you were doing. So did you lean on God for that too? Like, did He show you who to tell? Those few people who to tell? Like, what was that process like? Because I know it can be definitely a journey because you got so many people saying so many different things, and it can kind of jumble up in your head. So what has that been like? Just hearing from God through this whole thing.
I hear from Him clearly. It is no question that He is speaking to me directly. He would shut me down in my own thoughts. If I get ready to do something outside of His will, He would shut me down, rebuke me, or I'll
Hmm.
feel convicted myself if I try to do anything outside of His will. Specifically for this project, since that was a word from Him to go forth that this was a book. So this is God's project. He told me this was a book. So His voice has been very clear for me on the directions of this. Um, and just within these, I'd say February up until now, is when I have really, I gave God my full yes, my full yes. I first got saved in 2011. 2011 was when I first got saved. And outside of that, it's been 11 years. I was teeter-totting back and forth, in and out of the world, just to keep it real. And
Hmm.
back in February, I gave God my full yes, and it has been a beautiful journey. So I haven't had any moments where I've had to question if I'm hearing from Him or not, or if I'm in my own thoughts. So it's been a very smooth process, just staying within His will for me.
if you had to say one thing, what do you feel like is the biggest lesson that you learned about yourself throughout this whole process? If you had to name one thing, what's the biggest thing that you learned about yourself that possibly you didn't know about yourself prior to?
The biggest thing, I am who God called me to be. That is
Mm,
the biggest thing that I have had to process. I'm not who I thought I was. Even specifically, my name is Chela Dawn. Dawn was actually my middle name. God changed my name in this process as well. So now
wow.
Chela Dawn is it. So just coming into my full identity has helped me to learn myself. Before I didn't know I was an author specifically. I used to write
Mhm,
poetry when I was younger, and that was pretty much it. I write poetry, I'd say I was writing songs sometimes, but I never really had a full book in me that I knew of. And
mhm,
even since then, God has spoken many other book titles to me of what I need to work on next and just projects. So just it's been a process coming into my own. I haven't really doubted myself one moment, and that's the thing. Like I've learned not to doubt myself right now
mhm.
in this season. Letting go of self-doubt, that was the most thing, and I've learned that I'm not shy. If you ask anyone who's known me previously, I've always from a child to recent this year, most people would say I'm shy, I'm quiet, and now I realize that God has given me a voice. So that's what I've really learned, that God gave me a voice. I'm not shy. He just reserved me for this time.
Wow. Okay, Miss Chayla. Okay. um, if if you had to if you had to choose, what's your is there a favorite point of the book that you like? Is there a certain point of the book that you kind of hold dear? Of course, you love the whole thing, but is there a favorite chapter or favorite point?
Uh, I would say my favorite point would be the end of the book,
Right.
which it closes out, just to continue to tell people to keep going forward. And the prayer of salvation at the end, that is my favorite part because I feel like once you get to that point, um, you have your heart is full and you feel a different kind of way. You're ready to say that prayer of salvation and go ahead and give yourself to the Lord. And that is
Hmm.
my favorite part. And just the glory of it, giving glory to God is my favorite part of the book overall. I know it's for him.
I think, like I said, I have continuously read this book. As a matter of fact, shout out to my guy Asa Wiles. He is he's a friend of mine that goes to my church. Shout out to RCCBA. Um, and he will be speaking this weekend. And I was telling him about the book, and he sent me a text and it's like, "Hey, I need that book. Let me borrow it." So I gotta get it to him tomorrow because he's speaking on Sunday. So I just kind of gave him an overview of the book. You know what I mean? And it just sparked his interest. So just in that, people there is a a demand, I guess, lack of better words, for the feeling of gratitude, that feeling of peace within oneself. And that's what I really love about this book. It really challenges you to be confident and self-aware with each day. You know what I'm saying? Not only to the Father, but to yourself. As I was saying earlier, it really challenges you to be a self-aware and confident in who you are. In Him, and as you go, I guess from day to day. Um, it's really a book that keeps on giving. Like it never stops. It's not something that you should read and then put down and put in your bookshelf. This is something that I feel like should be constantly, in your purse, in your backpack, uh, in your car, wherever, whatever your thing is. I think that it's a manual. It's more like a manual than it is, a book to read per se. It's more of a manual, and I think that that's really, really dope. Um, what role
Thank
has
you.
your
Thank you.
family played in this whole process? What have they been to you in this whole book writing process?
My family has been everything. Not even in just the process of the book writing, just me giving my yes to God and changing my ways. I'm just now, like I said, I was teeter tottering in and out of the world like everybody else. So just changing up who I am and coming into my full identity. My family has been very, very supportive. They've been just everything. My family is very loving, and it doesn't matter what I do, they always have my back. My mother and my father's side and my extended family, everybody has been very supportive. And just to even hear my mom just be like, oh, you got a book coming out, you so proud, because I didn't tell my mom that I had a book either, so she was one of the ones that found out when it was done, like, you got a book.
Yeah.
So just the whole process, even without them knowing what I had going on, just has been very supportive and very loving. Um, and I thank them. So, and thank you for, saying that the book is what God said it is. you know, um, when he said, go forth, it's a book, publish it. I was like, it's in my notes. I literally have it in my notes in my phone. And, he said nothing. God specifically said through my sister, nothing too big, nothing too small. Go forth with what you have. And even at the beginning process of writing, I was like, well, do I need to add this or that? Then I had to remember, God said, go forth with what you have. Don't add nothing else in there.
Right.
Get
Right.
this book published. So, just my family overall have been so, so loving.
Do you feel like an author?
I do. I do
Do
feel
you?
like an author. Yes, I do. I feel like an author. I think one of the aspects that makes me feel like that is because God has given me other book titles. So now I'm like, this one's done. I got to get to the next one when he says so. So I
Right.
definitely feel like an author. It was more surreal once I opened that box. It was like I got a book.
Yeah.
So
How hard was it
I'm
to
definitely
how
feeling
hard
that.
was it to embrace that? Because I mean, um, when you do something like that, um, it I get it. It's very humbling. Like it's very, even though you did it, it's very overwhelming. It can be. You know what I'm saying? So how hard was it for you to embrace that title of author, Chela Dawn, the author? What how hard was that?
I've just been really feeling it. Like I'm doing little shouts throughout throughout the day. Like I'll look at my book, or even just the thought of it. Like I have a book out.
Right.
It's been uh, a good overwhelming feeling. Not I haven't felt like I got to worry about what it's gonna do and how's it selling or anything like that. Just the fact that I got it done and it's published, that was more than enough to me just to I got a book. I'm just
Right.
so super excited, beyond excited. I can't even put into words, the how I feel. Really. So that's what it is. It takes you to a different level mentally.
How has your life changed, if at all, since the book's release?
Um, I'd say I've learned to use my voice more, like God said. Starting to like make content and stuff. That's not really what I was doing before. Like I said, a shy girl. She's shy, she's quiet. So just going and forth with the promoting the book and and not even just necessarily the book, my life in general, just being who God said I am, an evangelist, you know, I'm a lot of things. That God said I'm a lot of things. So just being an evangelist and an author and everything is just it's coming together. It's coming together.
Why don't you shout out your church? your church and your pastors right now. Shout them out.
Shout out to Apostle Van Williams. She is my sister, my spiritual mother. And it's crazy because like 2 years ago when, God really started calling me back like to him, I was messaging her and talking to her like I need for her to pray for me and different things like that. And 5 days of gratitude wasn't my first spiritual week that I did with my friends. It was actually the second one. Um,
Hmm.
so I had her praying over us and things like that. And she told me, you should get a mentor. You should get a mentor. And the whole time, she is my spiritual mother. Thus says the Lord. So shout out to Apostle Van Williams, the visionary for Restoration Ministries. And I grew up in the church. I grew up in Morning Star Baptist Church, choir girl. 6 years old to 14 in the choir, so I grew up in the church, and shout out to my foundation as well.
Wow. My ministry is called Restoration too. Restoration Christian Church, VA.
All
Apostle
right.
Charlie and Prophet Vicky Ammons, Pastor Ray and Danette Miller. Shout out to them. So we already locked on that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's dope. Um, it's just it's so much that I want to ask you. It's like I'm just trying to find the most important the most important things to ask you. Um, who are you now? Now that the book is out, now that people have received it and you received so much love. Like we were talking earlier and you were saying how you were telling me, how full you were from all the love and all the accolades and all the support and encouragement that you received from, from everybody that had either bought the book, read the book, heard about the book. They just sent you out loads and loads of encouragement. Um, do you feel that are you the same person? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like the same person?
Um, I don't feel like the same person, not just
Mhm.
because of the book, just overall. I'm not the same person. I am Chela Dawn, prophetic evangelist, administrator to Restorations Ministries. I am commissioned by the Lord to win souls for the kingdom, and I am gifted in healing and restoration. And I'm a woman, a virtuous woman on a mission to win souls for the kingdom and to build people up and just be not more so an influencer. I don't really want to say I'm an influencer. I'd rather have impact because influencing is about the numbers, the number of people. I don't care if it's two people. If I can make an impact in anybody's life on a daily basis, then I feel like I've done my job. So I am just a virtuous woman on a mission to serve the Lord. That's who I am right now.
Okay. Let's move away from the book for a minute. Let's talk about Chela, the evangelist. Um, what is an evangelist? Let's tell me what an evangelist is to you and why do you trying to frame the question correctly.
Okay.
What is what is evangelism and what does evangelism mean to you? Put it that way.
Uh, Evangelism to me, and overall in general, is to preach and teach the gospel and bring people back to the kingdom of God. Tell people who the good news and who Jesus Christ is, um, and I evangelize through my truth. I am an evangelist through my testimony, just being real with the people. That is evangelizing to me. If I can tell my story and my testimony to anybody and get them to see, like, that she's on a different walk. She's feeling good even with the ups and downs. Evangelizing is just using the gifts that God gave me, my voice, using my voice that He gave me now,
Mhm.
just to bring people back to Him and give Him glory.
That is awesome. That is super awesome. And lately here I've had a few Christian music artists on the last few weeks or so. And we've been talking about imaging, and we've been talking about imaging versus the secular side versus the Christian side. And I was looking at your cover. I was looking at your book cover, and
Look, let me show the cover to those who haven't seen the cover. This is the cover.
okay, okay.
So that's my cover.
So I'm looking at the cover, right? And we see a youthful, beautiful young lady, respectfully,
Thank you.
with the tattoo showing. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like I said, looking very today, right? Was that intentional? How intentional was that? Or is
I would.
that just you?
That's just me. It wasn't intentional to look a certain way. I just wanted to be myself. The tattoos, the dress, the full look of it. It's just me. God looks at the heart. People look at the outside appearance.
Right,
God knows
right,
my heart posture and who I am to Him. I know who I am to Him, and that's one reason why people shy away from the church.
mhm,
The church, the Christian life, is because people are so judgmental. You don't have to
mhm,
look a certain way. There's no dress code to, there's no dress code or no certain look. My tattoos don't change the fact that God called me. God
right,
said I am who I am. My dress doesn't change anything. I'm going to dress the way I want to dress. I don't care who says what or what they thinking. I'm gonna be me. That's it. I'm gonna dress how I want to dress, respectfully. I wouldn't wear that to, the governor's ball or something like that.
right, right,
I dress for the occasion. If it's my book cover, I want to look cute. I want to, be styled how I want to, and that's just what it is. I don't worry about what people think of how I dress, how I look. I dress very respectfully. I'm covered up in the picture. I
mhm,
can't hide what God gave me,
right. And you
in a sense.
and it's funny that you that very phrase right there is what I hear. Like I've talked to, because it's usually the women. The men don't really get as much flack for that, you know what I'm saying? But for the women, I've spoken to quite a few Christian artists, and you know, you get both sides. You get, oh, super modest. You should be, no jewelry, nothing showing, no tattoo. And then you have the other dynamic who are like you know what I'm saying? Be your authentic self. You can't, God has made you in a specific way. And what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. And it's very interesting because just this Christian, excuse me, this Christian atmosphere can be very complicated and very difficult to navigate. And for people like yourself, I really respect you because,
Thank you.
and you probably, and I'm putting it on you. You probably didn't even really think that much of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm making a bigger deal of it than what it actually is. But I really respect that because, you know that the church can be very, like you said, very judgmental and very um opinionated,
Yes.
when it comes to certain things. So like I always find that interesting to talk about. Um now you're in now you're in literary circles. You're in the book club. You in the author club. You know what I'm saying? You rubbing elbows with other authors and writers and things of that nature. What what has that been like? What has that been like for you? Or have you found yourself, because sometimes when you're doing certain things, it draws certain people. And so have you found yourself coming it more into contact with other authors and writers and creators?
Through different groups, like Facebook groups with self-publishers and things like that. Being that I just released my book recently, so I'm now getting the other authors and in the book club. I'm in the book club now.
Yeah.
But I've been embraced, and it's been a good journey so far. And shout out to Kiani Bryan. She is Write It Out Publishing. Her team put my book together for me from, I started it out, Kiani Bryant with Write It Out Publishing, Innovative Twist, did my cover, McNair Media Group, and Sierra Roman. She did my editing, and she is Right Away Docs. So just connecting with those people have really helped me to, like you said, get acclimated with the publisher's world, the book world. It's been a good thing so far. It's only been like a few weeks now since my book has officially dropped. So just getting into the book world, it's been good.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So as I look at, I'm looking, like I said, I've read your book, and I've looked at some of the information that you provided, and you wear many, many hats, and you do a lot of different things. How do you keep balance between all the hats that you wear? How do you ensure that book Chela doesn't interfere with evangelist Chela, and evangelist Chela doesn't interfere with mommy Chela? You know what I'm saying? How do you keep balance?
I'm just now learning. I'm just now learning. Time management was not my biggest thing for a while, but just learning to prioritize and give myself some grace. Like you said, I am doing a lot of things. So you have to give yourself some grace and give yourself a break. That has been my main thing now, to slow down, which I've learned to slow down. Not doing too many things at one time is how I navigate through the many hats. Mother first,
Right.
mother first. I have a teenager and a toddler, so I'm on both ends of the ripping and running on the mommy side. But
Gotcha.
with the business and evangelizing and with everything, just learning good time management. I have a planner. I use my planner to the T. I love stationery, so I write my
I
planner, I
am
write
struggling,
notes.
not to cut you off, but I'm struggling with that.
Yeah.
I really got to mess with that. Go
it's
ahead.
it's still a challenge. It's still a challenge sometimes, because some days I'll write a full day out. I have my whole week planned out, and then I get to Friday and like I didn't do none of this stuff. I'm still
Right.
I'm still learning and navigating the time management myself. But just give yourself some grace is what I've learned. And when navigating with so many things, just allow yourself to take a moment, and that's the best way to bring everything full circle, to get everything in order, is to give yourself a break. um,
Mhm.
that's the only way I'm doing it. I wouldn't give myself a break before with the business. With my first business, Kizzy Crafts, I would be up for days doing my orders, be up for days working, literally running 2 and 3 days off of 8 hours of sleep for like 3 days. Like it
Wow.
was crazy. It was crazy. And the moment that really brought me to where I am now with my time management and getting things in order is I almost burned the house down. you know,
Really?
I almost burned my house down.
I, I
Valentine
do.
Valentine Valentine's Day, 2021. I was making orders, doing the absolute most, making orders, I had so many things going on. I left the house and left the stove on with some
Wow.
candy and stuff in it. And when I got back to the house, my partner at the time was like, the house was smoked out. I could have burned it down. And
Wow.
that really put things into perspective with me with time management and, just you need to slow down. You're doing way too much and I live in a townhouse. So my first thought was, if my house would have caught on fire, I could have took everybody else's house out. So that was a
Facts.
very humbling moment to me. It brought things into full perspective. Like I could have taken everybody's house out. I could have killed somebody.
Mhm.
I really, that moment is what really got me in line with, you need to prioritize. You need to make sure that with all the hats that you're wearing, everything that you're doing, that you have some kind of order to it and structure. And that moment, that was really eye opening to me. And even the aspect, the main thing was, I have a full support team. My family, I could lose everything today on my own, and my family's gonna make sure I have everything right back tomorrow.
Right.
Even my dad is in Iraq right now. If I lose everything right now, if I call
Wow.
my father and if I call my father and tell him I need anything, I'm gonna have it. So I even thought about that, like I got this whole support team. If I would have burned my house down, these other people might be out back. They might not have anybody
Right.
to help them out or get back on their feet. So that moment last year was really what put things into perspective to me for, getting in order with my time.
So at this point, now that you've had all these different revelations and different things go on in your life, what would you say is the hardest thing for you not to do at this point in your process? What's the hardest thing for you not to do?
The hardest thing for me not to do is with my business, Kizzy Crafts. I was doing big events and doing event treats and things like that. But God has shifted my focus. So recently, the hardest thing for me to do is not put that at the forefront. That is transferring into a whole different business than what it was. I started out making gifts originally with that business. I started out, I was going to make gift baskets for Valentine's Day. And I was like, okay, a couple family might buy some coworkers. And that Valentine's Day, I ended up selling 100 gifts. So I started out making gift baskets and arrangements, and it went on into event planning and making treats for events. So not doing that right now is the hardest thing for me to tell people no. I'm not, like I'm not taking any more orders. Just
Right.
to shut that down, just for this season, because I know God is taking it somewhere else. So just for this season, just shutting down one of my businesses completely, um, not closing it, but just taking it to another
Yeah.
dimension has been the hardest thing for me to shut down certain things because I know that's not what it's geared to in nature.
Yeah, that's got to be tough because it's one thing to shut something down that's not working, but what do you? It's working though. The demand is coming still, and you're trying to tell me that I got to shut it down. It's not like I'm lose. It's not like there's no demand. It's not like it's not working. That's got to be
Yeah,
really really something.
high demand. I have my regular customer base that have been with me since 2016.
Hmm.
Um, but and new customers every week, calling and asking for things. But I'm obedient to the Lord. If He says shut it down, shut it down. And even with that, I've realized that I don't have the grace to do it right now in this season. I've
Hmm.
messed up so many orders right now. I just doing my orders on the weekends. It's been a hassle, putting things together. Like regular orders have been a hassle to me. I'm like, this is what I do. And then
Right.
God spoke to me. God spoke, like He said, you have the creativity, but you don't have the grace for that right now. That's not what I told you to
Mm,
focus on. That's not
mm,
where I told you to put your focus. You're doing too much with that. You're supposed to be
right.
over here, but you still in this business doing way too much. Just to put it on the back burner for a little bit, it's fine.
So, what would you, of all the things that you're doing, right? What do you want people, if you could have it your way, what would you want people to know about you? Just by experiencing the services and the things that you do, what would you, if you could have it your way, what would you want me to know about you? What impression should I get from you just by using the products that you provide, the book, the gifts, all the things that you do? What what would you want me to have a sense of about you?
That everything that I do is done with love. Everything that I do is done with love and respect for my customer base, my level of my influence. Everything I do is done from the heart and is done with love. I pray over everything I do. So
Okay.
that is one thing that I want people to know. Like I'm coming from a place of love. Like I've had people say, you're so nice. You just do this. And I feel like, um, yeah, yes, I am a nice person, but nice is an action. Nice is an action word. I feel like a lot of people can be nice, but to be genuinely kind. I want people to know that I'm a kind person. Everything I do is from the heart, no matter which business side you get something from me, my book or any aspect of me. I'm doing things from the heart, and that is it. I really want people to know that everything I do is from the heart.
So tell me, what's so far, if any, what would you say is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
Mm, the biggest misconception, um, that I'm too nice. I'm too nice. That is a misconception that I'm too nice sometimes. When you're, like I said, when you're nice, is doing things for certain people. Everybody could be nice, but to be genuinely kind and not to boost myself up or anything, but I'm a
Mhm.
kind person. So the misconception that comes with that a lot of time is that you can get over on me. I'm a
Right.
pushover, or I might be a little soft. I'm saved, but I'm not soft. you know. Um, I'm not a
Got you.
pushover. I'm just genuinely kind. So I think that's one of the misconceptions that people have had. That you could just say anything or do anything, but it's not like that at all.
Right. Right. That's another point. Back to the whole imaging thing, right? I was talking to a young lady on here. She was a professional cosmetologist. Like she does, big events, music videos, that type of thing. And I was saying, is that a hindrance? Because she's very striking, very, very attractive, whatever. So is that is that a is that a help or a hindrance? Because, like you said, people may look at you and be like, because you're smiling, and because you have that youthful personality and you're bubbly and stuff like that, that they think that that you don't know your business, you know what I'm saying, or they can just get over on you or whatever the case may be. And she was saying, yeah, she said that is a thing. She said you could literally be too pretty. Like, and that just really blew my mind. Like that's really a thing, because people really judge you based off of that. You know what I'm saying? That really blows my mind. I mean, how do you see that?
I definitely understand where she coming from, as far as people can just look at you and think you're a certain type of way. Um, but when you open your mouth and speak boldly and confidently and full of authority, then the looks don't matter. Just be who you are, and
Absolutely.
that's where my true identity comes from. When I speak, you're gonna know what it is. That you're not gonna treat me any kind of way just because I look a certain type of way. God,
Right.
I can't help how God, made
Right.
me look. So,
Right.
and how I want to
So,
dress and how I carry myself on the outside has nothing to do with my heart. It has nothing to do with, you can lose all this. That's
right.
nothing. Today or tomorrow, today or tomorrow, the looks and everything,
Yo, I
you
just had a vision of like somebody's all their teeth being on. I just
yeah.
had
So
I don't know why that came to my mind, but that's crazy. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
so the looks don't matter as long as you're carrying yourself with a great deal of integrity, then that
absolutely,
shouldn't be a problem.
yeah, absolutely. So what do you do when you're not creating and writing and promoting and doing things like that? What does Chela Dawn do for Chela Dawn?
Chela Dawn does. I don't do a lot, really. I really don't do too much. I don't really watch a lot of TV or anything. Um, when I get a chance to just sit in the house and not do anything, that is my moment for myself. If I'm not doing anything, then it's like, okay, she's got a break. But I do like to, go out to eat with my friends and do things like that. Just the regular everyday things. I don't do too much. I just went on vacation with my family to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, and
Nice.
that was really good. So just relaxing and enjoying my free time without adding any work onto it. That,
Is that
that's
something that you had to is that something that you had to learn, or is that something that you already had instilled with you? Because just important as it is for you to be productive and be impactful and be busy, it's just as important to be relaxed and rested and at some points lackadaisical. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
something that you had to embrace, or is that something that's always you've always been cognizant of?
No, I had to embrace it. I'm
Mhm.
still learning and navigating to enjoy my time and enjoy my rest. Because if you don't rest your mind, then you're not thinking straight. You're not doing things properly. Nothing can happen. I can't function without proper rest and just time to myself. So I'm definitely it's a learned thing. It's a habit that I'm trying to form now. I'm still working on it. You know, don't answer the messages. Put that down to the morning because everybody knows me. I'm a night hawk.
Right,
if you send
right,
me a
right,
message about a if you send me a message about an order at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna respond to it. So I've
right.
had to learn to shut down the business and just make my time my time.
Wow, wow. So are you do you feel you so are you the type of stop are you a stop and smell the flowers type of person, or are you um okay, this is done, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next.
I'm gonna stop and smell the flowers type. I like to embrace the moment. Before sometimes I can be, keep going like just next, next, next. But I really am like I learned to live in the moment, embrace each moment. Take the time to really enjoy life, really enjoy what's happening on a day-to-day basis. Like no matter how small it is, like give gratitude. I'm grateful for each day. I'm grateful for each moment, no matter how big or small it might seem, even just the little things. Um, like the other day, just watching a movie with my son, just small things like that
Right.
really mean a lot to me right now.
Wow. So I asked you what was the biggest misconception that people have about you. What would people be surprised to know about you? Do you
Mm.
have like some type of weird talent? Are you are you super competitive on the low? Um, do you I don't know, build houses? I don't know.
um,
what would people be surprised to know about you?
Let me see. I'm surprised to know about me. That's a good one. I don't really know. Let me see. Let me think. Hold on. Let me think. That I'm really kind of goofy. I'm goofy. I'm funny. A lot of times, just being, like I said, being shy, being quiet. People don't know. Like once you really get to know me, that I'm a lot sometimes.
Oh, Apostle Van said you could sing too.
Yeah, I could carry a tune. Oh, that's a good one, sis. That's a good one. Okay, yeah. People don't know. I can sing a little bit.
So have you ever recorded music?
No, just on my phone. just
Oh,
just in my voice memos when worshiping. I'll worship and record while I'm like just singing to the Lord. I did ask my cousin the other day if she knew anyone that does vocal training, because I do want to, so she's telling my business. Yes, sis. I do want to record a song actually, so that is something. She helped me out with that one. So yeah, singing. I sing a little bit.
Also, is that on, do you feel like that's on your agenda? Like you've already conquered the books and you're already owning businesses and stuff like, so is that on your list too, or?
Definitely writing music. Definitely writing songs is on the list, whether I'm the one singing them or not. Music is on the agenda. But I do want to be able to, even if I'm not the one performing it, when I present a song to an artist, I want to be able to, sing it to them a little bit so that they know
Got
where
you.
I'm going with it.
Got you. Got you. See, I didn't even know about that. I should be like saying something. I should do
Oh
that.
no, no. That ain't gonna sound too good.
Nah, I should let you do it, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put you on the spot like
I, I might be ready
that.
after the training the next time.
Okay. All right. So listen, this is Let's Take a Walk, and I'm sitting here with Miss Chela Dawn. Um, she is an author, an evangelist, an administrator. She's a mom. She's a business owner. Um, on the low, she's an artist, a music artist as well. Um, I mean, you name it, she does it. Um, somebody saying that you can draw too.
Oh, y'all telling everything. Who said that?
Man,
That's mine.
okay.
Yes, yes, I am. I do. I'm an artist. I'm, I do so many things. I guess I don't even really realize how creative I am sometimes. I do draw a little bit and paint as well. So
Wow,
full spectrum creative.
that's what's
and
up.
even
Okay,
and even with the poetry too. Poetry. I'm a poet.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I got to You got to show me some of your art though.
Okay.
After this,
Okay.
you got to like shoot me something or something.
Okay. I will.
Is that a deal? Is that cool?
That's a
That's a
deal.
deal?
It's been a long time, but I got some. I got some I can show you.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. So we're here on Let's Take a Walk. Like I said, I'm sitting down with Miss Chela Dawn. Um, she does everything and then some. As I'm starting to find out here in these final moments of the interview. And I'm truly impressed. Like I tell people all the time, over the course of my life, I've seen a bunch, hundreds, probably thousands of things that were very impressive to me. We all have seen things that are very impressive. However, there are only a few things that have made an impression on me. And this is one of these things. This is one of the moments that has definitely made an impression on me because a lot of the things that we've gone over personally, I have struggled with. My self image, self confidence. When I was growing up, and I don't mean to talk you to death. I'll make it quick. I promise.
Oh no, you good.
Um,
You good.
when I was growing up, as you can see, I'm darkly complected, and so growing up, that was not the thing to be when I was growing up. And so, as you know, kids can be very cruel at certain points, and
Yes.
so that was something that I dealt with as a young person, and even into my adulthood. That's something that I struggle with: self-image, self-confidence, that type of thing. You know, but to experience what you've done in this book, it really made an impression on me because it reminds me that I'm valuable. You get what I'm saying? Like it reminds me that I have a purpose. It reminds me that, you know, I'm worthy. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I just want to um, encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, because even more than what you think, you are making a huge impression on people like me who have always, you know, struggled with that in their life. You know what I mean? So like, you have created an alternative. And a lot of people, what happens is people, they get safe in a, they become comfortable in a certain box because they feel like there's no alternative. There's no place. I gotta do this because I don't have no other options. I gotta think this way because I don't this is all I see, or this is all I hear from the people that are around me. But what you have created is something that gives people like me an option to say, no, this is not true. No, this does not. I'm about to cry.
Oh,
It gives you an alternative. It gives you an option. It gives you a chance to say no, that um this is not true. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am talented. I am gifted. Um and I hope that you see what you have done, what you're doing, what have you created. Because like I said before, I've seen thousands of things that are impressive to me, but only a few things have made an impression on me. And this is one of those things that have made an impression on me. So I encourage you to just to keep to keep moving forward. If God is leading you to do another book, then do another book. If He's encouraging you to do another 10 books, do another 10 books.
it's
If
10.
He's encouraging you to sing, if He's encouraging you to draw, if He's encouraging you to paint, run a marathon, I don't know. But it's important, especially in our community, that we give the we give our peers, again, an option, an alternative to say, okay, I don't have to do this because I saw Chela do this. So I know I don't have to stay in this thing because I saw her do it. And she was very successful, very impactful. So, I mean, like I said, I don't mean to preach or to talk you to death, but I just want you to know that what you have done is truly, um, it's important. It's very important, and even more than even more than you see, even more than you know. So never disrespect it, never take it for granted, um never think that you're not as good as, or never think that this is something that is not, like I said, impactful. Um, because it absolutely is. If you got me tearing up on this platform, you have absolutely done something. Because I'm absolutely tearing up over here right now. And
Thank
I'm
you.
not no sucker at all. But you got me tearing up over here. Um
I,
anyway. Anyway.
truly appreciate that. I'm speechless, really. I'm just really speechless because uh, God said nothing too big, nothing too small. And, at the beginning, I was looking like, oh, my book's not really that long. And like I said, more than an influence, I want to make an impact and an impression. And if I could do that, I'm just feel honored. And so I thank you. I thank you for let me know exactly how, how it made you feel and how it impacted you, because I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that to keep me going and to, to let me know exactly that this book is what God said it is. And I'm truly honored. I'm truly honored to make an impact.
So this is my final. And see, you made it. See, matter of fact, we've gone over time, Chela. Chela, you was nervous. You was like, well, no, you said you was excited. Not to your defense, you said you were excited. But look at
A
this.
little bit of
We're at
both.
5 minutes over. This is my final question. It's a question that I ask all my guests. Once I ask it, I just want you to take a moment, think about it, and give me the most honest and transparent answer that you can possibly give me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the question: what would have to happen in your life, if it hasn't happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does
Mm.
success look like for you specifically?
Success to me, every day is success to me.
Mm,
Literally every day. Um, I know sometimes people try to pinpoint what success is. It has nothing to do with money to me. It has nothing to do with just one thing. Like you said, my book made an impression. That's success to me. I feel extremely successful right now. And every day, if I can make some kind of impression on somebody, any kind of conversation that I can have, and doing anything within God's will for Him, within His will, is success to me. Just being obedient to God and knowing that I'm walking in my true plan and purpose, that's successful to me. So I feel successful every day. I didn't feel like this before. I can honestly say before I was measuring success on, you know, business accomplishments and, just different things that, a lot of people measure success by material things. But once I really started implementing my own strategies of gratitude and realizing what I have and who I am, I'm successful every day. Success to me is doing things for the glory of God and just walking in my purpose and being who He called me to be. I feel successful.
awesome, awesome, awesome. So, what's next?
What's next? Just promoting this book really right now. The book is the main focus. I'm going to do a book tour, an official book release party, and just to focus on the book. And like you said, it's an impactful book. I truly appreciate you saying that, and just giving your testimony. And when I signed everybody's book, I said, "May God bless your gratitude journey," and I can't wait to hear the testimonies that come from it. So what's next is just I'm really focused on the book right now, and what can come out of it. It's a challenge. It's a book tour that I plan on going on as well. So just that's my main focus right now is the book, and after that, and I literally have 10 book titles. It's
Okay.
literally 10 book titles that God has given me in different moments when He said, I may have given somebody a word of knowledge, and He said, "Oh, that's a book,
Wow.
write that down. That's one of your book titles." So I do have 10 books in me. um, I do have 10 books in me. So just going forth right now, I'm really just focused on 5 days of gratitude. I'm not really thinking too much farther. I'm doing things one day at a time. Um, so that's where we're at right now.
Okay. Awesome. So, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, they want some advice about writing, or they want to tell you something about the book, or you just want to reach out, maybe sow into what you're doing. How can they get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me. I am on all pretty much all social media platforms. Well, not all of them, but Facebook, the main two, Facebook and Instagram. Chela Dawn on Facebook. My page is public if you want to follow me for inspiration. I have started posting more and use my voice, like I said. Instagram is Chela_Dawn. And you can also contact me with on ChelaDawn.com. ChelaDawn.com. I have a connect with me link up there for my info. And I'm an intercessor. If you need prayer or anything, I'm free for you to, just hit me up. Send an email, send a text message, or I do have a number up there for text as well. Um, Send a DM. I'm an intercessor. I stand in the gap for people. So I pray all the time. If you need prayer or anything. And my ministry, Restoration Ministries VA, we are restorationsministries.life. And we do have a service coming up December 2nd. It's free, but you must register. So if you go to restorationministries.life, you can sign up for our services December 2nd, Friday night, 7:30. It's going to be a night of worship and just prayer, deliverance, healing, everything that Holy Spirit's going to do in that building on that night. So, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Is there anything that you want to leave with the audience before we sign off?
I do want to say, get my book. Get my book, 5 Days of Gratitude. I want to leave
Five
you with
days.
that. Get my book, five Days of Gratitude, and not just for my personal gain or anything, but just to help you out, just to help you get on a new path of life if you're feeling like you have anything going on. And not even for people that have anything. A lot of times when people think about prayer or self-help or anything like that, they feel like you have to have something bad going on. You have to be in a season where you're down. But no, a season where you're up. You might feel like everything is great for you, but go to God and ask him what's next. He always has more for you. So this book is not just for people who are in a low season. Life is a roller coaster, highs and lows. So, just get my book. That's where we're at right now.
Awesome. Well, Miss Chela, I thank you for coming on, because again, I know that you have a lot of things going on. I appreciate you taking a moment to sit down with us and just kind of, drop some nuggets, and just kind of to help us get a better sense of who you are and, the things that you have moving. And I personally want to wish you much blessings on your movement and anything that you do in the future. I wish you much blessings on it, because I know that, you are definitely committed to doing, the work of your father. And so, I tip my hat to you, and I tell you much respect, much respect. And consider this platform open to you at any time. Just hit me up, Mike. I got this thing I want to do or that I want to say, and I got you. All right. Just you have an open invitation anytime, you wanna do something. Just let me know.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor. I really appreciated this opportunity. I'm just so grateful for it. And I just really thank you.
No problem at all. I wish you much blessings on everything that you have going on. And I wish you a very pleasant night and an awesome weekend. And like I said, everything going forward. I wish you much success and blessings on it, and your family and your
Thank
ministry as
you.
well.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, so now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get me some tissue and wipe these tears up real quick.
Good tears. Good tears. Real good tears.
Yes. And don't forget, I want to see your art. I want to see some of the art that you've done as well, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you
much.
again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
And there you have it. Another awesome guest, another awesome interview on Let's Take a Walk. She had me in there misty eyed for a minute, but I pulled it together. Your boy pulled it back together. Okay. As always, I encourage you guys, and if you don't hear anything that I say, just refer to this interview, man. If there's something that God is leading you to do, it's giving you a vision, if it's keeping you up at night, if it's speaking to you constantly, man, you need to just step out and do it. Step out on faith and do it. Make it happen, because there is a remnant. There are people who are waiting for you to make that move. They are praying for you to make that move. They're some in some cases their life is depending on you to make that decision. So if you really think about it in those terms, it really should let you know how important it is to um, truly hear from the Father, hear from God, and go forth, and do what it is that He has called for you to do. And do not let lack of resource be the determining factor. God has been dealing with me in a certain scripture. I can't tell you that. I want to say this. I, I, I'm just going to say the scripture. It says, "Don't be weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not." And that scripture has really, really, really been dealing with me, it's really been dealing with me. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, I say, don't allow lack of resources to be the determining factor of whether or not you walk in whatever God is leading you to do. Because even in that scripture, it tells us that we have to do something. We have to do to get to the do. You know what I'm saying? The D-O to the D-U-E. You got to do before you get to the do. So don't be weary in the doing, the D-O. Don't be weary in the doing, because it's going to lead you into the D-U-E season. It's going to lead you into that season where every resource is provided, every need is filled, every resource, if it's money, if it's time, if it's support, it's going to be there if you do, but you gotta do something. That's right, That's right. Shout out to my man Aaron. I wanted to say Galatians, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. But you got to do something. You got to do something first. You know what I'm saying? You got to push forward, even if your initial work is incorrect or wrong. You got to do something in order for people to, in order for it to be adjusted. So like if I'm a singer and I'm singing off key, I have to sing off key and allow somebody to hear me sing off key in order for my voice to be adjusted so that I can be on the right key. I guess I hope that makes sense to y'all. But again, I don't be afraid not to do, because the D-O is going to lead you into the D-U-E. And that's what it's all about. I think that sometimes we place a lot of emphasis on the D-U-E, and we don't talk as much about the D-O, because we have been conditioned, a lot of times in the church to concentrate on the blessing, how to get the blessing, praise to get the blessing, sing to get the blessing, worship to get the blessing. But what about that in between time? What's happening in that between time? Are you praying? Are you fasting? Are you reading? Are you meditating? Are you speaking to the elders? Are you, seeking God? What are you doing in the middle, in that space between the beginning and the DUE season? You know what I'm saying? Because we have to realize that the DO season is a determining factor, or can be a determining factor on when or if your DUE season even comes, or to what extent it comes. It's based off of what you do, DO. I don't know who this is for, and I don't know why I'm sharing this with y'all, but that's what it is. you know. So if God is leading you, if it's something that's keeping you up, that's waking you up at night, if it's something that's on your mind, if it's something that you would do for free and you can see it clearly, I encourage you to go forth and do what you're feeling led to do. That is righteous. Um, and that's it. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm not gonna talk you out of death, but that's what I felt I need to say. Shout out again to Miss Chela, and please support her book, 5 Days of Gratitude. It's out now. ChelaDawn.com. You can go on there and get a book or 2 or 10. Hit her up, tell her how much it's impacted your life. Because a lot of times we don't do that enough. We don't tell people how they've impacted us enough. And so please, let her know how the book has impacted you rather. And that's it. Other than that, man, I'm gonna let y'all go, man, because I could go another hour. But anywho, y'all have a good night, and let's take a walk.